Hey guys, Cardiac Cat here with my Week 4 predictions and preview. We have a lot to go through, so here we go. For the first game, we have the Buffalo Bills at 3-0 going to Cincinnati to take on the 1-2 Bengals. I think the Bills will dominate this game with 431 yards per game, and Ryan Fitzpatrick has turned this team around. I see the Bills winning this game in Cincinnati and improving to 4-0. Next, we have the 3-0 Detroit Lions going to Dallas to face the 2-1 Cowboys. Now, I think this is going to be a really close game, but with Cowboys allowing 228 passing yards per game and the Lions D bending but not breaking, allowing 301 yards per game but only 15 points, I see the Lions winning this game. The Cowboys lost to the Jets, and they only beat the Redskins and the 49ers. So they haven't really faced a test. This is their first real test. I see the Lions winning in Dallas and improving also to 4-0. Next, we have my Carolina Panthers sitting at 1-2, but could easily be 3-0 had a couple more plays just went our way. They're going into Chicago to face the 1-2 Bears. I'll make one statement and one statement only, and that is, if we stop Matt Forte, we will win. Matt Forte is a big part of Jay Cutler and the Bears' offense, simply because Jay Cutler does not have a lot of time in the pocket. So he has to pass it to Forte a lot, and they run draws a lot to try to give him time. Forte has has 22 catches over 300 yards through 3 games. That's more than twice than wide receivers Hester or Knox. And he's going to be a big part of their offense again this weekend, but I think our linebackers, if we're able to contain them, I see the Panthers beating the Bears in Chicago. Next, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers coming in at 2-1 to face the 2-1 Texans. Now, a lot of people, I think, are picking the Steelers in this game, but I think, the Texans are a better team this year. They have a really sound defense, and both are really even statistically through just about everything. So I have to give the edge to the Texans over the Steelers because the Texans are at home. So my pick for that game is the Houston Texans over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Next, we have the 2-1 Tennessee Titans going to Cleveland to face the 2-1 Browns. Browns defense a lot better this year, but they still need a little bit more offense in order to keep up with some teams, and I think that in this game, the Titans are passing 300 yards per game, and I don't know if the Browns D will be able to stop those guys. And I see the Titans going to Cleveland and taking care of business against the Browns. My next game is the Minnesota Vikings sitting at 0-3, going to Kansas City to face the 0-3 Chiefs. A battle of unwinnables, however you want to say it, this weekend. I think it's going to be you're going to see probably a lot of mistakes in this game. That's the reason that they are the way they are. The Vikings have had a lot of bad breaks, though. Adrian Peterson is still averaging 5.1 yards per carry, and the Vikings are averaging 159 rushing yards per game. So I see the Vikings coming out in this one and winning because the Chiefs are just miserable on every aspect of the ball. My next game is the San Francisco 49ers at a surprising 2-1 going to Philadelphia to take on the actual surprising 1-2 Dream Team Eagles. Looking at this game, it's easy to like 49ers in this game because the Eagles are reeling. They have no idea what the hell they're doing. Michael Vick is kind of hurt. But I'm going to have to go with the Philadelphia Eagles over the San Francisco 49ers because the 49ers, I believe, is going to be exposed by all those big cornerbacks, and I don't think the 49ers will be able to go down the field like they have been lately. And, the Eagles are only allowing 182 yards per game, so I think the Eagles will be too high-flying for the 49ers. Next is the New Orleans Saints sitting at 2-1, going to face the 1-2 Jaguars. I see the New Orleans Saints going in. They have 100 yards per game rushing, but 437 yards per game total. Drew Brees is 89 for 130 with 1,059 yards and 9 touchdowns. I mean, they're high-flying offense. Everyone knows this. So I see New Orleans going into Jacksonville to take care of business and getting a win. The next game is the Atlanta Falcons at 1-2 going to Seattle to face the 1-2 Seahawks. And the Falcons really need to win this game. I mean, it's the Seahawks. The only team they beat were the Cardinals last week, but they're coming off a big win, and they're at home. A lot of people think that they might be able to take care of business this weekend. However, I do not. I do think that the Matt Ryan Atlanta Falcon ran offense is just going to be too much for the Seahawks to handle and keep up with. And the Falcons have 250 passing yards per game, 343 total yards. And Michael Turner should have a big game. I think he'll be able to run on the Seahawks defense a little. And they have over 100 more total yards per game than the Seahawks. So I look to the Falcons to beat the Seattle Seahawks. After that, we have the New York Football Giants at 2-1 going to Arizona to face the 1-2 Cardinals. Now, at first glance, I was picking the Giants to win this game. I thought that it would be a good game, but I think the Giants and Eli Manning was going to, come out and maybe take it. But after doing a little bit of review, I have decided to pick the Cardinals over the Giants because Kevin Kolb is playing mistake-free football, and they've just been in, they've been in the right situations in both their two losses to take the win, but they just didn't have the ball last or whatever. And they're coming off of a bad loss to Seattle. Anytime a team gets beat by a horrible team and they know it wasn't because they're not better than that team, the other team just stepped up and played good against them in that game, then it pisses them off. And I think Eli Manning and them are in for a treat when the Cardinals defense gets up and I think takes care of business against the Giants. So I see the Cardinals beating the Giants. Then we have the 1-2 Denver Broncos going to Green Bay to face the 3-0 Packers. This is kind of a no-brainer. Aaron Rodgers is killing right now, 72% completion rating, and the Packers are averaging 403 yards per game. I see the Packers improving to 4-0 over the Broncos. However, I do see Tim Tebow making his debut in this game and finishing the game out, and I think he'll start next week. John Fox made the mistake with the Panthers of leaving quarterbacks in too long, including Jake Delhomme when he lost all his confidence. And don't get me wrong, I love Jake Delhomme, but once he lost all his confidence, he had not a prayer in hell, and that was the main thing because at one point he was one of the top 5 quarterbacks in this league. And you could check out the statistics on that. In fact, before the 2008 postseason, he was the best quarterback statistically in the history of the NFL in the playoffs. So, and you can check those stats out. But once he lost all his confidence, John Fox definitely left him in too long. So I see Tim Tebow getting the start next week and coming in this game at some point when the Packers are probably up 3 scores. Next, we have the 0-3 Miami Dolphins going to San Diego to face the 2-1 Chargers. I think this is actually going to be a close game. The Dolphins have just been on the wrong side of some turnovers, some different things, not going their way. Chan Hitty's been, doing everything he can. They just need a better, a more sound game, and I think they'll get a more complete game this week. The Dolphins will. However, I still see the San Diego Chargers taking care of business against the Dolphins. I think the Rivers and the Chargers at home is just going to be too much for the Dolphins. Next, we have the New England Patriots sitting at 2-1, going in to face the surprising 2-1 Raiders, who are looking better than ever. This game is, I think a lot of people are not going to agree with me on, but I have the Raiders beating the Patriots, and let me tell you why. One, the Raiders is at home, and, if you've ever seen an Oakland Raiders game, I don't think there's one fan in the stand that doesn't have their face painted and is yelling to the top of their lungs, and they've been losing games left and right for the last 20,000 years, so that's going to be a hard place to play anyway. And they're coming off of a big win over the Jets. I think they got amazing confidence. And statistically, the Patriots and Raiders, believe it or not, are kind of close. The Patriots obviously have more passing yards per game, but other than that, the points per game, the defense, and what they allow per game, they're really close. But the Raiders do have 185 yards per game rushing compared to the Patriots 102. So I think that McFadden will see the ball a lot, and I think the Patriots are in for an upset. Next, we have the New York Jets at 2-1 going to Baltimore to face the 2-1 Ravens. This should be a great game. I think it's going to be really close. A lot of people have the Ravens winning at home, but the Ravens are giving up 245 yards per game passing, which isn't too bad, but considering that Joe Flacco and company is only averaging about 225 yards passing themselves, I don't think they'll be able to. I think Mark Sanchez will have a lot of room to be able to take care of business in this game. I think it's going to be a close game, but I still see the Jets going in and knocking off the Baltimore Ravens. The Colts in their next game are sitting at 0-3, obviously, because they have no Peyton Manning, so Curtis Painter gets the call this week. Then they're going into Tampa Bay to face the Buccaneers, the 2-1 Buccaneers at that. I think in this game, even though the Colts will be getting their first win soon, I think Curtis Painter will do great. I don't see it happening this week. I think Tampa Bay will take care of business at home. Their offense is too much for the Colts, and Curtis Painter is getting his first start, so he'll need some time to develop. Last and certainly not least, we have the 2-1 Redskins going to the St. Louis to face the 0-3 Rams. I really did want to pick the Rams this week because the Redskins are so hit and miss, but looking at the Rams, they allow 32 points per game and 426 yards per game. I just don't see them being able to do anything with allowing that kind of those stats. So I see the Redskins going to St. Louis to beat the Rams. So those are my picks. Feel free to video response with yours, and other than that, I have more videos coming out soon. So like the videos and subscribe. And enjoy the games on Sunday. Till next time, peace.